Yeah.
How about that Ezekiel Tovar?
Welcome to Lake Street Banter, where one of us knows what the word banter means. The other two are just along for the ride. What up, Mike?
What up? This is the first one of the year. I'm very excited. This is probably the most excited I've been for a Rockies season. I think the 70 wins we get this year, it's going to hit like crack after these last
Send the bar early. Let's go. 70 wins for Mike here. Let's go. Tyler, say what's up.
I'm going to go 75 now.
Just keep up in it.
I got to say that intro was chills. Feeling a little hyped up now. So,
dude, I'm stoked. Like the fact that Mike is like talking and sending DMs like, yo, I got this graphic. I got this idea. I'm going to cook up this video real quick. I'm like, it's spring training, baby.
It
like,
took me a little while
it's
to get
coming.
back into it, though. But
I mean, last season kicked all of our ass.
Yeah.
You don't see that side of it. Like after like it hits like October, you don't want to watch baseball ever again.
Definitely not like covering it. I hit September. I'm like, it's the dog days. It's tough right now. It's exhausting. Like it's a lot. And like your guys' July draft coverage, like that you guys are going to go ham on again this year. Like that's a lot of work what you guys did with Luke. So we're here. We're regrouped. We're rejuvenated. Spring training is right around the corner. We got kids. Let the kids play. That's going to be our hashtag slogan for the year. Everything we post, we're just going to hashtag let the kids play. If you can make a cool graphic, Mike, with like a playground in the back, like transparency in the back, like that'd be pretty dope. But we're here to talk kids and all that kind of stuff. But before we get into that, continue to follow us on the Twitter, on the YouTube. We just dropped our first ever BSB Tools Week, which was a lot of fun to do. So huge shout out to Coach Funny Man, Coach Isaac, to set that up, that idea. Like he's like, hey, Tyler, Aaron, I have this idea. What do you guys think? We're like, yes, run with it. Go with it. Tell us what you want to do. He came up with the list. He came up with the names. He got me, Tyler, him, and Luke to put in our numbers, our rankings for each position. So huge shout out to Isaac. Like none of that happens without Isaac. So I think it's gone great. The writing, the videos, everything's been solid.
Yeah, seeing the videos that have been put together, those make me excited for the season again. Just seeing the grind come together, and also just being really back in the zone with all the Rockies prospect stuff. That's what gets me going for Rockies baseball right now. Obviously, when you have a limited ball club at the major league level, 70 wins is your goal. Like the prospects become a lot more fun.
And that's what we're here to cover it. And we're going to go ham again in about a month or so with our BSB top 40 list with some honorable mentions. I don't know about the videos. We'll see what comes up with that. We might have some things cooking in the backup, but we got some stuff going on the YouTube there. So follow us on there. Follow us on the Instagram, all of that. Share it with your mama. As always, we are your mama's favorite podcast. She just doesn't know it yet. And then the last little plug, and then we'll get into it, is make sure you tune in on Tuesdays. We got a new talent on the roster, on the list on Tuesdays. Blake Street Banter with Noah Spyrick and Patrick Lyons. Patrick Lyons is joining the BSB squad on the podcast side. Pretty excited about that. Him and Noah are going to talk rocks on Tuesdays. And we still got the best of the West crew, Skylar and K-Dub, who, again, just increased the IQ level of the BSB team by 1 million. So if you're not listening to them talk about the NL West yet, you need to. So tune in on Wednesdays on that. And no idea when I'm going to put them on the podcast platform. It's going to be a little bit tough for me with the timing and stuff. So bear with me as we try to figure out what works best for that. And then go ahead and leave a review, whatever you're doing, wherever you're at. As you share it with your mama, leave us a review. All right, Tyler. College baseball was here this weekend. I was stoked. I got the Big Red Machine up on the TV. They're down in Arizona playing at Salt River Fields against some good competition. Lost today against Grand Canyon, but college baseball is here. And why is Nebraska going to win it all?
I mean, it'd be nice if they finished over 500. I think you gotta set
your top 23. They're top 23 right now. What are you doing
for now?
Oh, this guy.
But yeah. college baseball it's a fun time. I mean, that's what really like gets the ball moving down the hill for baseball season is you get to see these guys in action. I mean, there's been some crazy things happening. We're going to have a lot more coverage on that soon. Definitely not ready for that tonight. Talk about it, but also we got a lot of like house cleaning stuff to do. So we'll be bringing college baseball to the stage here soon.
Yeah, get ready for all that coverage. And if you just love college baseball and you love people that love college baseball, go follow our guy Nick Slam Hilliard on the Twitter, who is an Akron super fan. He was there in Tennessee, followed him to Tennessee for their opening weekend. So like, if you just want some action in your life, some baseball action, go follow our guy Nick. Like, again, I would trust that guy with anything. If you're looking for a scout and you need some help with something, get a hold of him. Get a hold of us to get a hold of him too. We'll do that for you. So college baseball is here, and it's exciting. I'm just happy to have baseball back. The background noise is great. Let's recap 2024. Oh wait, we got Wild the Innocent in the chat. Thank you, Grant. Let's go. Glad you're here, big dog. MLB projected lineup is a little sus. We'll be all right. We'll figure it out as we go on. But Wild the Innocent, who's been YouTube Stan lately. Appreciate you hanging out again. Auburn baseball player hits home run hours after losing his mother. That was a pretty cool story. I think he lost his mother like Thursday or Friday, and then he comes in the next day, decides to play baseball, hits a bomb. Just like you could see the emotion as he was rounding second base. That was pretty cool. That's a good shout out, good call, Wild Innocent on that.
Yeah, and I mean that dude is a really good player. Also, like a lot of good things ahead for him. So good to see him just making the most of a tough moment. That's where baseball is not as big as life, but you can have really cool moments happen nonetheless.
Yeah, and that's what makes baseball beautiful. There is baseball gods. Let's recap 2024. Mike, how bad was the Rockies season in 2024 in a grand scheme of things?
It's pretty bad. We lost a lot of games, and we didn't get the top pick, so we're still at pick 4, which I will harp on for every podcast from here on out. But we got to see a lot of growth. Amador made his debut. Zach Veen got healthy, played a little bit. Ryan Ritter bursted onto the scene like we all expected. And then, of course, we have Charlie Condon, which we'll talk about later. But prospect-wise, it was really good.
But the pundits aren't agreed, and that's got us fired up. Like, I don't know. We have Dollander and Condon and on the top 100 list. That's really about it.
And no Sullivan. No love for Sully.
No, I don't think that man will ever get any love, which is disappointing. But Cole Carrigg is knocking on the door. Everybody loves the little Cole Carrigg in their lives, so that's a little interesting. But I don't know. What was your biggest takeaway from 2024 last year, Tyler?
I mean, to me, the biggest one, especially as a draft bias person, the 2023 draft class was ridiculous. I don't think the Rockies have ever had a draft class in their first pro season play like that 23 class did. Like everybody that was picked highly played so well. A bunch of guys on day 3 even came out, played really, really well. I mean, Seth Halverson's already in the big leagues and looking really good. We're going to talk about him more. So 23 draft, definitely at the top of mind for me. That crazy class.
I'm stoked about that bullpen. Like the bullpen is the talk of the town right now in spring training, and you got a lot of young talent. You got Bud Black saying that the arm barn talent is up there with almost anybody, which I think you can actually agree with. Like he's not just saying talent. Obviously, there's some growing pains that are going to come along with it, but like you got Seth Halverson, nasty stuff. Jaden Hill, nasty stuff. Luis Peralta, nasty stuff. Angel Chavi figured it out after his stint, going back down, then coming right back up and figuring it out. Like Victor Vodnik, like you have some studs that could figure this out, and pretty excited about it. It's just hard not to be about like, I don't know, like there's so many things that can go wrong where 70 doesn't hit, but 70 is so like realistic with where we were as a bullpen last year.
No, I agree. And I think the Rockies, if we look at the way they've constructed their team this offseason, they clearly see the potential, the value in the young guys. We haven't brought in a veteran reliever or a couple because we have only, was it just Kinley out there that's a veteran? This whole bullpen's been young guys, which means it might be rough in the beginning, but by the end, we're going to have one of the best bullpens in baseball.
Yeah, you got Kinley and old head J-Law coming out.
There you go.
New head J-Law, got a haircut. And then Gilly's coming back on the scene from his TJ series. But then you got Hergert coming in the armbar, which I'm kind of excited about Hergert and his funkiness that comes along with it. Woodford might be a name that we see, Jeff Criswell. So there's some old heads that might be poking around, but I think this is the kids' barn going into 2025.
I mean, don't forget about Jake Bird. He like Justin Lawrence,
Jake Bird,
2024 season, and it's crazy that Jake Bird is like a veteran because he has, I think, a little over 100 innings pitched in his career, but he feels kind of like a vet now. He's been through some ups and downs. Hopefully that comes into 2025 and produces, better results.
Yeah, I was gonna say it might be a little biased, but I feel like these guys are veterans. I remember when they were like rookies, so it's kind of awkward for us.
Dude, I had that realization like covering the Rockies in this way. Like we're coming on 4 or 5 years now, and just like seeing kind of the transition of where all these guys are. It's been kind of weird. As like covering it, it's been weird. I did say I was going to open up a pack, so I opened up one. I got some names in here, so go quick. Won't take two out. Got Christian Yelich. Keibert Ruiz, got an ugly Dodgers one. They're doing this fun Dodgers 2025 dancing thing this year series. Oh, here we go. This is a fun one. Little Ellie De La Cruz moment. Gotta love a little Ellie. Joins the 2060 club. Mark. Jeremy Pena, Brian Wu, who I think is an underrated pitcher in the major leagues. I love me a little Brian Wu. Nick Sogard, rookie card. Will Benson. Remember him in his week last year. Brooks Baldwin, Orlando Arcia. Oh, we got some fun ones here. All right, here's the good stuff. Got a Shohei Ohtani, MLB the Star, our stars of the MLB going.
I think sharp.
This one's cool. It's got cactuses going on. A Mitch Haniger, Seattle Mariner cactus one. Don't know what that variant is, that parallel, Grant, if you're listening. And our first Rocky poll, little B Doyle in the hizzy.
There you go.
It's clean. Love
Good
the
luck
picture.
for the future right there.
Yep, let's go. I got 2 more ready to go just in case we need to mix it up a little bit. So if you are watching, you want one, holler at your boy. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's talk about the arm barn, right? The kids are here. We're going to let the kids play. We kind of discussed who's in the barn. But right now you have, according to Rocky's resource on Fangraphs, the arm barn looks like this. I guess, and stop me if you agree or disagree with this. I think that's where I want to go with it. We're going to start at the top, the big dogs. The closer role is handed to Tyler Kinley, 34-year-old right now.
I mean, I want to stop you, but based on things we've seen, I won't stop you, even though I did.
It's a Bud Black thing to do. Like that's, and I'm not going to get mad at it either. So.
Oh, so predict how long is it Kinley's role? Like if he was in the conversation with J-Law last year, like it's J-Law and Kinley probably going to get the bulk of the saves. That was our spring training. Say that again.
Vodnik, I think, could be the closer by the end of the year.
Right. So you have these conversations like these 3 old heads that have been around for a while. We talked about the veteran presence, but you have Seth Halverson. I think we can all agree Seth Halverson is the next closer of the Colorado Rockies. How long is it Tyler Kinley's before it is Seth Halverson's?
I mean, it should be like April. but I in a more realistic world, it'll probably be like August. We saw last year a lot of transition in the way that players were kind of handed new roles later in the season. I think as long as Tyler Kinley is pitching acceptably, and he kind of he was building back up a little bit last year, found his stride at some points, was not a closer caliber pitcher for most of the season though. So, I mean, it could happen at any point. I again, though, going on like the Bud Black train of thought, I'm thinking like August.
I mean, if he has a season like 2021, 2022, if at the deadline we could trade him, and if he's not doing well, then I think he'll get bumped out of that rather quickly. So there's kind of 2 sides of the coin. I like both sides there.
Yeah, I agree to a point. Am I wrong thinking that this is really the year that the kids play? like I feel like this is actually going to happen for all of us, all across the board. And I don't know. I just think Bud might switch it up. Like he's managing for his life, his job, maybe. I don't know. But like it feels like
I think it's up to Bud if he gets fired or not.
oh yeah, no, it's definitely Bud's decision. It's Bud's job's decision to decide if he wants to keep it or not. Like that's what it is. But I just feel like the aura of the camp and everything is we're gonna let the kids play. Yeah, I don't mean what
I don't mind putting on
I can't talk myself into it.
I don't mind if like they put on like a facade for the first 2 months of the season, like, oh, we're gonna go contend, we're gonna try and play a 500. But if we're 15 games under 2 months into the season, I think we should immediately pull that back. If that's what happens, I'll be fine. Like if we're playing Kyle Farmer every other day, but then 2 months later we cut them because hey, we're not good. That's perfectly fine by me.
And I think that's a good mindset going into it. I will give you that. We have to compete coming out of the gate, right? And then as soon as we're out of it, we need to figure out what we have. Isaac, I was literally just looking at Baseball Reference for the stats, so thank you. I knew it was out there. Batters hit .067 against Kinley in high leverage situations last season. Closer him.
Gonna kill us.
I mean, he had 13 save opportunities, 12 of them converted saves. I don't know how efficient.
And I think the one was against Cincinnati, right? The one that he blew. Like, dude, down 5, we were up 5 or something. Yeah, man.
It might be that one. He ended up with a 4.79 FIP last year, a 1.46 WHIP, and an ERA plus of 75, but still has this crazy 0.67 against Kinley in high leverage situations. Low leverage Kinley, not a Kinley I want to know. High leverage Kinley, bet your bottom dollar on it. And there are like very extreme stats that show and support that situation. So you're saying April. Mike, put your final guess in. When is it not Kinley's job? Officially.
I'm going to go end of June.
End of June. I'm going May 15th.
There you go.
Got 6
Put it
weeks
on your
to figure it
calendar
out.
right now. Put that date on your calendar.
Mark it. Somebody mark it. Isaac, keep track of it. You're listening. Go ahead and keep track of all the stupid shit we say, please. Next down the list on the Rockies resource is the setup man in the eighth inning. The eighth inning guy is Seth Halverson, the righty from Tennessee. I think we all agree with that, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be. It's got to be. I mean, he has some of the best stuff in Major League Baseball, not just in the Rockies organization. So, yeah, he has to be at least in that role.
I'm a little worried about Bud Black thrown out like Victor Vodnik instead. That's why I said his name, just because he has that extra year of experience. I'm a little worried about that being weighted too heavily when it comes to making the decision, but it should be Halverson.
It should be. I mean, Seth Halverson's traditional numbers last year he went 2-1 with a 4.6 ERA across 12 innings pitched, 13 strikeouts, and a 0.81 WHIP. And I'll let Tyler get into the pitching of how that works for us.
What do you think his ERA plus was last year, Aaron?
147.
323.
I was gonna throw some high number like in the 200s, but
that's shocking.
Well, and then here, let me. Where do you think he ranked by pitching plus, which considers like stuff and the location of pitches? Like, what do you think his rank was league-wide among pitchers with 10 or more innings for pitching plus?
I'm going to go 15th.
He's a top 8.
Right, at 10. And you know who was number 1 on that list? Jacob deGrom, who some people consider the best pitcher of our generation. So, I think you should put a little weight into that stat. He's at 10. Small sample, but the dude is insane. So
he really is. Like his 100-mile-per-hour fastball and his sinker sits at 100. I was trying to get my Tyler on this afternoon when I had some time, so I was looking at his StatCast stuff. And if you haven't been on Baseball Savant in a while, go check that out. Like they did that little circle thing, which is awesome.
In Halverson's Savant page,
it's awesome. And like the arm slot that they put on it, like he's coming from a 41-degree angle, so 3/4 there, but like he's throwing a sinker slider against right-handers and then fastball splitter pretty much against left-handers. There was a 0.83 batting average on the splitter last year for Seth Halverson. So like it's pretty much lights out for anybody that's coming up against him especially a right-handed batter. Like it's done for. And so like he got better over the offseason. He's only adding more velocity or more break. He's doing something. So like Seth Halverson might be a top 15 like reliever by the end of 2025. And I don't think that's that crazy to say it.
It's also his birthday tomorrow. So
happy birthday, Seth. Happy birthday, Seth. Love
Big
that.
25 quarter century.
Which is crazy. And I can't wait for him and Dollander just like having a pitch speed off. Like it was so much fun. I know they're in camp together. When Chase was with us a few weeks ago, he was like, yeah, I'm roommate with Seth. We've been roommates for 4 years now. And so I'm sure they're just like, yo, 103. Is that in it? 103.2. They're just going back and forth. Love that. Setup man and the seventh inning guy. They have Rockies resource has Luis Peralta, who we got in the trade last year from the Pirates. Came on the scene crazy last year. Had a negative 0.3 WAR last year, which I thought was a little surprising. That was negative, small sample size, all that. But Luis Peralta, setup man in
guess
the seventh.
His ERA plus, Aaron.
173. 480.
646.
Oh my god.
How does a 700 whatever get a negative 0.3 WAR?
I don't know.
Tyler, you're the smart one here.
I assumed it was like that he had like a 0.5 WAR. I don't know.
He has 0.8.
That's bizarre.
So.
Yeah,
I think maybe he notched a few walks. I know, and they love to make it walk rate a lot to their.
Okay, I am an idiot. That's his projected 2025 WAR, which is still crazy. Projecting Luis Peralta to be a negative 0.3 WAR.
Yeah, that's a hot take.
That's weird, right?
They didn't see him last year. The computer did not see him last year.
The 600 times the MLB average.
Right.
6 times.
But he pitches in Coors for a full season, so we'll see how that goes. But I think we agree with that. Maybe we disagree with maybe Vodnik might be a good 7 guy, but they have him as the number 1 mid relief guy, Victor Vodnik, who got in a trade from Atlanta a few years ago. I guess what is going to help Vodnik be successful in 2025?
I mean, dude has got to be consistent, just pounding the zone. Like he got himself into a lot of trouble last year. 11.6% walk rate, which was the 10th percentile in Major League Baseball. And also again, he was first percentile for average exit velocity. So he was getting pounded when he was just like leaving. He was leaving his fastball, I think, in the middle of the zone. And then in the end, walking guys too. It was a little bit all over the place. So he's definitely needs to get a little more under control overall.
Yeah, Tyler nailed it. He was walking a batter every 2 innings, which is just not sustainable. Even if you have the best stuff, it's gonna bite you.
It's gonna come back, and we saw that with the Jake Cave moment. Just opened another pack. Oh, I got a good one. Okay, I messed up, but this one's cool. Got Paul Skeens, MLB The Stars. MLB The Stars won, so I got Ohtani and Skeens to start. David Peterson, Tristan Casas, cool little 3-way home runs, little triple home runs action. Leaders from last year.
It's like a Reese McGuire.
Vlad Guerrero Jr.
Yeah, whereas the Reese McGuire
Dude. I would love a cow. Like they had every Reese comes with a cow every time. Jake Cronenworth.
I think.
Oh, got a Rocky. Got another one, 2 for 2. Little Chuck action.
Oh, okay.
He is still around. Special assistant. Doesn't even put outfield on there. It says special assistant. Oh, got another one. Hell yeah. I got a rookie card. This is awesome. Another little Bradley Blaylock.
Ooh, there you go.
Little rookie action, Bradley Blaylock there. If you're listening, dog, I'll send it to you for me. Another Dodger. Don't know who he is. Don't care. Logan Gilbert, who I love. He helped me win my fantasy baseball last year. Justin Verlander as an Astro. And then here's the moneymaker. Got it. This is awesome. The Dylan Cruz rookie card.
Ooh. Yeah, put that thing in a sleeve.
Yeah, I should have had it out. I got all my decks back behind me. My kid's gonna be so pissed to open these without him.
You gotta save the last one.
I'm keeping that Dylan Cruz one. The Pulse game. I like these MLB the Stars action. Like these are clean. I like those. Not worth much, but like it's cool.
That's the thing with. I mean, I'm not a huge card collector. It just seems hard to get anything that's like, worth something. I think that's part of the allure of card pulling is you're like, oh, that card's worth like $50. But
who's the famous person that pulled like a really famous card, like a Shohei, some famous person that doesn't know baseball, or like was like opening a pack for fun, like pulled like a 1-of-1 Shohei Ohtani card.
Oh, really? I don't know that story.
Like, that's odd.
That's super odd. Well, to look at that, maybe Isaac, if you're listening, we should just have Isaac on the StreamYard and like doing our producing for us. They got Angel Chavi, Justin Lawrence, Lucas Gilbreth, and then they have the long reliever as Tanner Gordon. I don't know. I think I'm going to disagree on the Emma Roberts. See? Yeah, but she's an actual collector. She collects this stuff.
Is she?
Yeah, she's all over him. Yeah. Are we guessing that Tanner Gore is the long reliever out of camp?
I'd imagine. I feel bad for the long reliever because the fan base always slanders the long reliever. No one likes the long reliever. If that guy's coming in, it's not a good game. So naturally, they have like a negative like connotation to them.
That's valid.
But,
I mean, it's valid. It sucks.
That's like
should we do a pro long reliever podcast now officially?
Yeah.
We're bringing back the long reliever.
Tough spot. Like you're coming in, these guys are hot, the bats are breaking, and you just got to come in and.
I just got to say, yeah, goodbye, Peter Lambert. This is his farewell moment. He was the last de facto long relief guy, and yeah, people hated him. So this is a moment of love for Peter Lambert. We miss him. I don't think he's signed a minor league contract with anyone yet, so maybe he'll come back.
Who has the best shot of taking that spot from Tanner Gordon as the long reliever?
I think Anthony Molina.
Oh, there you go.
That's who I would go with. But
so you're not buying that they're going to keep him in AAA and turn him into a starter?
Maybe. I think the fact that he has so much experience already coming out of the pen, and the fact that it wasn't, I don't think he gave them a lot to be like, hey, this guy might be a really good starter. I think they might try to squeeze out some of those relief innings now. But in some ways it is a toss up between those three that we've kind of mentioned. Although I hope Bradley Blaylock is being fixed as a starter.
Yeah, Lambo is in Japan. Dari, thank you for hanging out.
Right.
Yep, yeah. I was just reading that.
We're a pipeline for those guys.
What do we? J Cave, Eularis, and Lambert.
Coco.
Coco.
Coco's a Ray. You might see him around town.
Right.
He's a Ray now.
Oh, he's from here too. Look at that.
Yeah, he went back home. Hopefully, he gets some playing time down there.
I think Dakota Hudson maybe too. No, I think I'm making that up.
I know Connor Siebold went up there too after us.
Yeah, right. He got a new major league contract. I think he's in the West. I think we might see some Siebold again. So you're saying Bradley Blaylock?
I might not. I think you're right. I hope we use him strictly as a starter. Like I hope we don't mess with his development because long reliever isn't really a good spot for a guy that you want to be a future starter.
And we don't want to hate Bradley Blaylock.
As a pro long relief podcast officially host, I am throwing Carson Palmquist's name out there. I think he does have the best shot.
I'm not that for the long reliever.
I'm gonna get there. Okay, I'm gonna talk myself into this, Mike. You know how this works. We can talk. We just talk about him all the time, and we're gonna fall in love. That's how you fell in love with Andy Perez. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Like
so
you start talking. Yeah, I know. I get it. I can buy into it actually. Just get him innings. We just need Palmquist to get innings in the MLB, and if that's long reliever, that's long reliever.
Yep, and I think he's cut out for it. It's going to be interesting to see how stuff plays as a starter, but thank you for your work that you put in looking at the Baseball Savant AAA numbers for me. He's got a 90-mile-per-hour fastball, 80-mile-per-hour cutter, sweeper hitting around 73, and that 81-mile-per-hour changeup. So he's got some diversity in his pitches. He's throwing the fastball about half the time, which I think is going to have to be cut down a little bit as he gets a little bit craftier with it. I think Tyler can talk a little bit about the pitching ability with that. But he didn't do very well in AAA last year. But the brass loves Carson Palmquist. They're talking a lot about Carson and Dollander right now in camp, like as the starters, and Carson's name being trickled around. You got Ryan Mack mentioning him, Austin Gomber reaching out to Carson Palmquist. Like Carson Palmquist is the little birdie under some wings, which is usually a sign when it's the Rockies, like, you know who they like and you know who's going to be pushed forward. And it's pretty clear. So I think we see Carson pretty quickly. And I think there is a role that can be cut out into a log relief spot, especially with our old head pitching. Like, you have 4 guys that are 30 plus that you don't know what you're going to get out of. 2 guys coming back from TJ, Freeland often injured. Can Gomber stay healthy and keep doing what he did from the lab last year? Like, there's going to be some bad outings that need somebody to come in and shut down the door. And Carson, not having any major league experience as a starter, I think can fit into that ignorance is bliss type mold where you're not messing with a Tanner Gordon and Bradley Blaylock type thing.
I would argue, though, we have Herman, Kyle Freeland, Senzatella, Fellner. Like, 2 of those guys are probably going to be hurt. Like, in the first couple months of the season. So I think he could squeak in a starter role very quickly if we wanted to push that narrative on everybody.
Okay, so question for the group. If you're in the chat, go ahead and put your answer in there as well. So, like, you have Bradley Blaylock, major league experience, Tanner Gordon, major league experience as starters. You have these guys that are in the system ready to go. Do you keep them in AAA waiting along the wings with Dollander for that first injury that comes in? Like, all right, you're the starter that's coming in. And then you throw in a Carson Palmquist and Anthony Molina as the long reliever type thing. Like, all right, you're our long relievers this year. This is what we're going to do. We're not going to mess with it. Like, we saw what that did to Noah Davis. We saw what that did to Carl Kaufman. It hasn't been well. Jeff Criswell it didn't do very well in that Mr. Match. We don't know what to do type thing. As these young guys are coming in, do you have set roles for them going into 2025?
I think with Palmquist, it's got to be start him in AAA as a starter. I think kind of what you're saying. I don't think you want to mess with his role too much. That's what he's done pretty much his entire career at this point. Maybe late in the season when he's racked up innings, you might say, hey, come on up to the big leagues and now you can notch 40 pitches an outing out of the bullpen instead of 80 to 100 from the rotation. But I think they've got to fix him into that starting role for now.
Right.
I mean, and you said it, Aaron, the PCL, you brought that up. It's not exactly a great place for a pitcher either. Like, that compared to long reliever, it's both, not looking too good either way. So.
Yeah, and I think that needs to be on the Rockies docket is how to best manage time in Albuquerque and how that can actually set you up for success at the major league level, because we're not seeing that transition very well. I mean, minus Seth Albertson, but like there's got to be some things happening in AAA to help the guys get ready. Isaac wrote something long, so let's see what he said. Isaac, Dollander is the best pitcher in the organization, including MLB. He should break camp. Palmquist needs more time in altitude. I'm not opposed to him out of the bullpen as he was in college. But like, there's 0% chance that Chase Dollander is going to start his major league career as a reliever.
What's the date that they have to like mess with the contracts? What's the date where like everybody calls people up? That'll probably be when Dollander comes up.
I think it's like late April.
Yeah, it's like 3 to 4 weeks. I have 100 games in my head for whatever reason, but I don't think that's right. There's something in there because if you start there and you get like rookie of the year eligibility, you get a pick. So like Drew Romo might be called up early because he might be viable for that. And Dollander is another one because he's a top 100 prospect, I think.
Yeah, he's someone that if he was somehow to win an award, well, if he won Cy Young in X number of years, that would get the Rockies a pick also. So I mean, yeah, the top
Wouldn't
100
we want that
status
clock
comes
to
with a
start
lot.
as late as possible, hypothetically? You know,
Say that again.
PA is listening. We would probably want that clock to start as late as possible. So we'd probably want to wait until that deadline.
I feel like the Rockies usually never care about it that much. I'm trying to think of a time that they've started a clock late in the season, like that they've from the beginning of the season they've waited a couple weeks to start a clock. I don't know that they've done that in a long time. I think they did with like Romo this past year, where they're like, we want to keep his rookie eligibility alive.
Yeah,
and they called him up, but I don't know. I don't think they ever try to get that extra year of service.
Yeah, I don't know if they are really doing that either. I mean, Dollander's first up. Like, bar none, like he's next. I'm very curious how they use these Blaylock, these fringe 6, 7, 8 starting pitcher guys with the long relief and stuff.
I just can't wait until Chase is in like Albuquerque. It's like July. We're just waiting.
Dude, we might riot. Unless like the starting 5 is just going ham and they're giving us 4 ERA, keeping us in games, 6 innings plus more often than not. Like, there should be zero reason that we don't see Chase before July. I might riot. I might quit. I won't, but I might. Dude, could you imagine the fan base? Like, they thought they were mad about Nolan.
I mean, the good thing is that a lot of the fan base doesn't, like, they should, but they probably don't even know who Chase Dollander. Like, so many people are under a rock. Our community stays up in the light, but a lot of Rockies fans are under a rock. So
yeah, that's why you need to share the podcast with them. They need to see the light. They need to get out of the rock and come hang out with the Blake Street banter. Sean believes that Blaylock and Gordon get arm barn slots. The rest regulars start in AAA. I like that take, Sean. Go Goats. Isaac with the question. Will Dollander be the best pitching prospect since John Gray? How did they deal with his rookie eligibility? I think it looks like Tyler's typing something. I mean, Dollander's I think you had John Gray and Eddie Butler. I remember Eddie Butler.
Eddie.
For whatever reason, he was a top guy. He comes to mind. But I don't know. I think they messed with Butler a little bit too much. And I think they just kind of got lucky with Gray. But I think they were up fairly early in the season.
I know Gray because I remember it being late in the year that he got called up. So I think he was August.
Yeah.
Which kind of lines up with that. They might have kept him rookie eligible, although I think they might have been a little early on that. And I think Butler was like, they called him up kind of like Amador a little bit. I think they called him up because they needed a body. Yeah. And it was your top prospect, and then he kind of got stuck.
So they called him up in August, John Gray. Then he was eligible for Rookie of the Year. And then he finished 6th in the voting the year after. So
he was a stud.
Yeah, Eddie Butler got called up initially in June for one start, and then
historically, they don't break camp.
No, they don't. That's why it's kind of weird hearing them talk about Chase and Carson possibly breaking camp without any major league experience before. Very unlikely, but the conversation around it is making me think that Bud Black might let the kids play. I don't know.
I will say the camp thing is always huge because they make the decisions. I remember last year Jaden Hill got that invite and we were kind of shocked. And then look at Jaden Hill now. Like, clearly he's part of the future. Yeah. So, like, watch out for who we play, who's on the team. That's huge for the direction of the team and how we see what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, like 2 weeks in, a bunch of guys are going to get reassigned. Like, that kind of bottom couple at each position will get reassigned to minor league camp. Anyone who really survives that, and then especially into the end of camp, those are the first guys up. And we had a little talk in a group chat like that Zach Veen has a real number and Yanquiel Fernandez does not have a real number. He has like 80 something. It's sort of like, does that mean anything? Like, does that mean that they think Zach Veen is the first guy up, and so they gave him a real jersey number? Or what's going on. But yeah, that'll be like a couple weeks into spring. You really know who's actually, in line for playing.
Knocking. Yep.
Doesn't Veen historically wear a goofy number though? Like, hasn't he always worn in the 70s?
Yanquiel wears 51. Veen, no. His spring training number was like 70s, but he wears a low number regular season.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. It was 73. Okay. Yeah, so that might be something.
Yeah, good point, Wild. Bill Schmidt coming from scouting helps me believe we see the youth sooner. I think, and with what Chris Forbes has been saying, I think that's there. It's just you have Buddy in the driver's seat. That's the only thing I just don't trust. Like we all know how he loves his veterans. Back to the arm barn. Which one of the two do we see more of this season? Because speaking of the conversation we were just having, we kind of know who they like: Zach Agnos or Jaden Hill. Who do we see more of in the major league this year?
Jaden Hill, right? I feel like that's a slam dunk.
Yeah, and I mean it's no because I think Agnos long term. I mean I don't know if there's many guys with better relief pitching ability than Agnos, but just they've got a pretty crowded 40-man already. I think Agnos would be a September call up, if not pushed back until the beginning of 2026.
Which I would say I would like to September call it because the fact that he's in camp and he's getting some screen time, so to speak, with the spring training conversations, and like I think they like him. I mean, it's hard not to.
Kind of the Jaden Hill of this year, where it's like,
yeah,
the future. He's 1 year behind Jaden Hill, kind of is what I'm thinking.
Right, and like, do they move one of these guys and at the trade deadline can start opening some of these arm barn slots up because our arm barn is loaded. But I'm big. Would love to see Zach Agnos get his call. Jaden Hill, we got word that he's working on some things. He's adding more to it. His 97 mile per fastball just isn't enough, so he's adding some more sink to his sinker, change up to his change to his change up. Like, I'm excited for that. And then you still got Brody Brecht knocking on the door. Like, give me, dude, Brody Brecht, Gabriel Hughes, Jackson Cox, Jordy Vargas. Like, you have 4 names that can be number 2, number 3 guys in any rotation in the league working on their way through the system right now. Like, there could be a clock, like 2026. Like, we're seeing a whole revamped starting rotation with Kyle Freeland in the back, like the number 5 guy. Like, I can't wait. Like, much talent coming up.
How about Dugan Darnell? Is he still on? Is he a free agent, or are we still? I don't know.
Dude, don't do that.
You're
making me feel bad. Don't do that. That's my guy.
No. I'm just because if we lost him, that would have been a huge deal for us.
I know.
That's our guy. Yeah.
I probably would have wrote a strong letter to Mr. Dick Monfort about that.
The one guy email.
Yeah. Would have been mad about that. No, Dugan's going to hang out with us next week. So if you're watching, listening, make sure you tune in. Dukes is hanging out. So yeah, Zach Agnos, Jaden Hill, a bunch of names to watch out for. Let's end it. Already at the 42 mark, which is great. I got one more pack of cards, and then let's talk about some names that we're watching closely during camp, going through it. Bryce Harper, he's a clown. Adam Azur, Colton Cowser, that's a fun little one.
Moo.
Future Rocky.
I hope so. It's got the little trophy on it. Does that mean he was an all-star for his rookie? I think so. Jorge Alcala, Francisco Lindor, DJ Hers, Isaac Paredes as a Cub, Adolis Garcia. This is a cool photo. Like, if I have a card, I want that.
Oh, yeah.
It's a sweet photo.
It's like every Doyle catch, though. Like,
that's true. That's light work. The Philadelphia Phillies team card. Gavin Sheets, your favorite, Tyler. Clay Holmes. Another MLB The Star, Jose Ramirez.
Ooh. Yeah, that series is sharp.
Yeah, I like him. No Rockies in that one. No parallels. Might have just made my money though with that Dylan Cruz, but some fun ones there. All right, who's the guy, Mike? Who's the Mike's guy in camp right now that you're watching, and why? What's the storyline behind the guy you're watching?
I mean, it doesn't even have to be said. Ryan Ritter. I mean, there's so many reasons to like Ryan Ritter. I went back to look at his stats just to make sure I wasn't, a little crazy about him. But elite defense at shortstop, second base too. He can do it all. But I think he's going to be in Albuquerque all year. He's going to mash 850 OPS, double-digit home runs. The glove play will be elite. We'll be posting it every night. I can promise you that. I don't know if he gets the call up, or if he does, I don't think it's going to be for long. It might be like an injury stopgap or something. But I think this camp is huge because it's going to be the launch pad. Next year is the year of Ryan Ritter. This is just like warning everybody about what's happening. But next year, it's like a national emergency. Ryan Ritter's on the scene.
while we're on it, Dari with a great question. Not too familiar in terms of his versatility, but is there probability of Ritter potentially being moved to third base? Can he stick there?
I mean, I think he could play there. I think he's best used up the middle, though. Shortstop is his best position, but obviously not going to get a lot of time there in the majors. So I think second base is where he'll spend more time. You still need some of that range. That's sort of what he's known for, is good range instincts. But he could definitely get by at third base. I think he'll pick that up a little bit more to be that utility infielder, but probably short and second mostly.
Yeah. How long is Ryan Mack's contract? Is he under 2026?
Yeah, definitely.
I think he has 2 more years.
Yeah.
So I think 3 total. 2 more years after this one. I think he's through 2027.
And because that's the one position the Rockies aren't heavy at, the third base spot. Like Aaron Schunk is probably the most third baseman that we have.
But look at where Ryan Mack came from, right? Wasn't he a middle infielder and then turned third base?
I think he played mostly third base though in the minors, but he got drafted like as a shortstop. A lot of those prep guys get turned over there.
Yeah. So, I mean, seeing Ryan Ritter, do we see Amador getting some playing time at third base to just open up the versatility? Can't book there. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting to watch. Yes, Isaac, we are watching Roniker Palma in the spring trading. Is a catcher. Isaac? Yeah, did you buy it, Isaac? Let us know. That was crazy. Who are you watching, Tyler?
I mean, not going to get too bold here. Just Zach Veen is a guy that ever since he was drafted, have loved that guy. So fun. I think he's gotten majorly slept on. If he can be healthy this year and stay healthy in spring training, I mean, he's had a healthy offseason. So go into spring training, he could mash. And again, he has a real jersey number. Does he break camp? Like we talk a lot about Chase Dollander potentially breaking camp since that's been talked about. If Zach Veen is a monster spring, like he might just Trevor Story this thing. You know, Trevor Story wasn't necessarily expected to make the roster back in 2018 or whenever that was, 2017. He made the roster anyway because he was just so good in spring training, and I'd love to see that for Zach Veen.
What has to happen for that to happen? What has to happen for Zach Veen to break camp? Because he got just hit the fastball. Do the easy things easy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully his swing looks pretty clean against high level pitching and things that are coming up and in on him. That's the hole that's been broadcasted for him is up and in heat. But also in some ways, some things outside of him need to happen. Like there needs to be a little bit of some disappointment from other guys like Jordan Beck, possibly even like Nolan Jones to open a door for him. I mean, the Rockies are pretty deep in the corner outfield spots, but nobody's like taken that role. So I'm hoping that Zach Veen can really leave his mark.
Yeah, I'm just so worried that the Rockies are set with their outfield because I saw Patrick Saunders' article today. I wasn't able to read it, but it's pretty much like it's Jordan Beck's to lose. It's his spot right now going into camp. So, and we know the Rockies love Jordan Beck, so it's going to be interesting. And we know, and I like Jordan Beck. Like he's a crazy athlete. Like it's not anything, but you're just so loaded around everywhere. There's not enough playing time for any of these guys. Because I, like you, love Zach Veen. Like I want him to be.
Maybe the plan is with Veen when KB goes down, we'll throw him. Like that's so like mid-March.
Like next week.
No, he's in the best shape of his life. It's fine. We'll see how that plays. Yeah, and how do you feel, Chris Bryant? What they're doing? They're playing is crazy, right? I tried to talk about it on my own last week, but KB playing the outfield on the road and DHing at home and then switching with Jordan Beck, like, is that a real thing? Like, somebody make sense of it because I could not spin it at all.
We talk about the Rockies. It's like, what do they do? What do they do during the off seasons? And then this is the stuff they come up with during the off season.
Like we're just gonna come.
Like I'm still asking the question.
We want to be relevant, so we're gonna come up with something asinine that doesn't make any sense to anybody, just so people talk about it.
Yeah, I don't know, man, because he's gonna get hurt DHing too.
So. Nick Martini, who can't forget about the minor league free agent Nick Martini being added. Isaac with the Jordan Beck has to perform to guarantee a spot. Too many guys on the horizon. Honestly, I think it's where it kind of lands. I just think it's Jordan Beck's
Right.
it's Jordan Beck's in April. I think what is Jordan Beck's leash come April? I mean, what's Nolan Jones's leash? Like, I think there has to be some talk around that as well.
I'm so glad, I must say, that we're not talking about some random 33-year-old outfielder that
honestly
might crack camp.
Nick Martini.
Keston Hiura. Does Keston Hiura break camp? Does he give is he filling for KB?
I was gonna say
we
might have the greatest like AAA team ever. Like we're gonna rake in AAA.
God, I hope so.
Like,
Actually, though, yeah, I mean, they just they re-signed Elleris Montero, except now he's Keston Hiura, like exact same player. So if that's a sign, then he's gonna also be a AAA MVP like Montero.
Dude,
but we're gonna have guys like, why are we calling this guy up? Because it's a new name. Like this guy's going in AAA.
It's just fun to do. If you have some time, go look up Keston Hiura's PCL stats last year. Absolutely insane. Like he dominated the Isotopes. I think he was like 9 at bats. I think 8 of them were home runs, like something ridiculous like that. Antoine Kelly and Diego Castillo were also not brought up to the bullpen talks. Still an insane bullpen, right?
And Juan Mejia. I'm surprised, Isaac, that you didn't bring up Juan Mejia just now. I know that you're a fan. He's on the 40 man. Kelly and Castillo aren't even, so they like Mejia.
Yeah, it's again
just
this
guy rakes in the PCO.
I told you.
1,200 OPS.
What OPS?
1,200.
Yeah,
that's in like 37 games too, and that's like his whole career is 1,100 plus.
Yeah, he just hits dongs for days. Strikes out the other 5 times, but the 5 times he hits it, it's gone. It's incredible, really. The guy that I think I'm watching is Cole Carrigg. There's 0% chance he breaks camp. There's 0% chance he's major leaguer by the end of the year unless he just absolutely crushes Hartford in the first half of the season. But the athletic ability of Cole Carrigg hasn't been seen since, I think, Brenton Doyle. Like, they have very similar, just athletic, being a dog type stats. Like, the only thing is Cole Carrigg just isn't as fast, but he has the hit. He showed power last year, which was kind of surprising. Because how many home runs did he hit in college, Tyler? Like 4, something like, I think it was single-digit home runs in college.
Yeah, no, it was I think like single digits for his career. Yeah,
like absolutely no power, but he comes into the Northwest League and hit 17 last year. So he's gonna be the talk of the town. He was in camp last year. People loved him there. He has this aura about him, this little swag about him that you're gonna notice him. So there's going to be a lot of eyes on Cole Carrigg coming into spring training and leaving spring training, especially as a yard goat.
He's like, like Travis Hunter has like just like athlete next to like his position. That's Cole Carrigg. Like it feels weird giving him a position because he can literally do everything.
Yeah, he can. He played mostly center last year. A few stints at shortstop. Did not catch at all last year. He was drafted as a catcher, had the catcher next to him. So take that for what you want. Just Rockies doing Rockies. But Cole Carrigg is one I'm watching.
Oh, we got Palma, so we got the catcher locked down for the future.
Dude, I think Palma's gonna make some noise too. Not to dog on our guy Braxton. I like Braxton a ton, but Palma's he's a dog. It's fun right now. Like the fact that we can sit here and like
a lot of hope right now, man.
I mean, talk to me in June, but like you go through the top 30 and like the top 20 are all like major league caliber talents. Like you got Kyle Karros coming in at 18, Jaden Hill at 20, Benny Montgomery at 16, like who we didn't even mention until right now. You like this team is loaded and you have people knocking on the door in the arm barn and the starting rotation.
That's like a wild card. Like we know he's talented. He just hasn't been able to get on the field. A lot like Zach Veen, and he's going to be, I'm assuming, in Albuquerque this year.
I'm going to guess he starts in Hartford. He'll be in Albuquerque at some point. The injuries, but like if you're not excited about baseball, Colorado Rockies baseball right now, like I think you need to go play pickleball or something. Like you need to go find a new hobby. 70 wins. The fact that it's our bar is realistic. I really do think it's realistic. I don't think it's 56 wins like the Picada was projecting, but there's a lot to be excited about.
The over is sound financial advice.
No, it's not.
A lot of money.
No, it's not.
A lot of money.
Responsibly. You're not going to get me in trouble on this.
Do it responsibly if you make money. Yeah.
Make smart choices. Look up your own data. Trust your own gut. But yes, I'm probably putting responsibly money on the over. But you do what you want. But I don't know. It's just excited. And I guess we had one more topic. Didn't even mention it. This is where we're at. I love that we're doing this again, guys. I love this. Charlie Condon. Are we mad at Fangraphs right now for not putting Charlie Condon on their top 100 list? Yep, you heard that right. Charlie Condon is not on the Fangraphs top 100 list. Like, we're writing, right?
You know when you're making the prospect list, I know you guys might do this, and you forget a guy, and you're like, you gotta like copy and paste it all and then fit it in. I feel like they just forgot to do that. Like they just didn't catch it. Because there's no way he's not a top 100 prospect in baseball. He's what world is he? Like, does he have a pulse? We gotta make sure he's alive. Maybe that's the problem. He's not. Do we know where he is? I don't know. Makes no sense.
It's pretty nutty. I mean, obviously, the rough stint in pro ball, but we learned that he had like a jammed thumb or something like that, and he was just trying to play through it.
Yep.
That's again like Zach Veen. We used to harp on that. Like Zach Veen injured, and it tanked his prospect stock for whatever reason. And then he came back and he had like a 850 OPS in AA. Charlie Condon playing through an injury and got a challenging assignment. He did badly. I don't think that should mean he drops out of the top 50 prospects, let alone the top 100. So
if he was a Dodgers prospect, they would be calling this guy a generational prospect. Like one of the greatest prospects of all time.
How's James Outman doing right now?
His name says what it is.
Yeah, he's out, man.
that was a good one. That was good. But Dalton Rushing is a friend of the pod officially, so we still love you, man.
Yeah, I love you. They got some good dudes.
They do have some good dudes.
They can develop. That's why.
And it's there, but
wins, I'm salty, but the wins prove that they are good at what they do. So,
is it though?
Well. Before this year, of course. Like now that you're spending all this money, we can put an asterisk next to it.
I mean, they've been spending money like, James Outman didn't work out, so let's go grab whoever. I don't even know. I don't even know who they grabbed, but I don't know. Freddie Freeman and
they've got like 7
Ohtani. They went and grabbed Ohtani. Outman didn't work, so we're going to get Ohtani, and that's.
I think their AAA rotation is better than our MLB rotation.
Their AAA rotation is better than 2/3 of the league. Like what they have just waiting in the wings and on the IL, like it's insane. Like Dustin May might be the most electric pitcher of all time, but we never get to see him.
And he doesn't get a shout either because no one remembers that he's there because they got 10 other guys.
Yeah, like it's insane. Like, it is stupid what they're doing. They're doing it, but there is some bias with the.
We will take them down one day. We will be there.
You heard
I don't know when
it
it's going to be, but one day.
One day in the next 40 years, we'll get there. We'll definitely get close. We'll do it. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for listening to us and dealing with us. We are back. Like, again, this was fun. I was excited. Like when you said, yep, I'm good for Monday. Let's go. Road to the Blake series were what I love to talk about, love to do. Like I love these Mondays, and we're going to have minor league baseball happening soon on TV where you're only us cover it. The way that we can cover it, and got a lot of banter sections in the works, like Austin Eminer. Go listen to his story. Chase Dollander was on there. We had Brody Brecht. We have Dugan Darnell coming on next week. Like we have what you want in prospect conversation. So continue to listen to us on Mondays on the YouTube around 9:30 every single day Eastern time, and it'll be on your favorite podcast that you're going to share with your mama when you can. And if you haven't done so, subscribe, follow, leave a review. All that stuff does help us grow a little bit better because right now we are just doing this for fun. This is just a fun little side gig for all of us, and there is a lot of work being put on in the back end. So anything helps. Those 5 stars reviews. Anything for the good of the cause, fellas?
I'm just ready to get back.
Thank you guys all for the support. Yeah. This is going to be the best season ever. Not for us.
For us, yeah. To the moon.
Our performance is going to be legendary.
Mike, hit the button. Go Rocks. Woo!